The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
A great meal in a great restaurant requires planning ahead, reservations, waiting, and finally getting seated. Caviar is a new food delivery app for people that are passionate about amazing food, but would rather dine at home. And just for our listeners, Caviar is offering 50% off 2 orders, up to $20 value per order. And all you have to do is put in the offer code NYCPOD22 at checkout. Remember, that's 50% off 2 orders, up to $20 value per order with offer code NYCPOD22. Download the Caviar app and use offer code NYCPOD22.
This holiday season, Peloton's got a gift for you. Right now, get up to $200 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton Shred. Accessories like non-slip grip resistance bands, a heart rate monitor, yoga blocks, and more. Take your workout to the next level with Peloton. Motivation that moves you. Hurry, this limited time offer ends December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 25th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Now through December 12th, Dunkin' Rewards members can snag a medium holiday signature latte for $3. Join Dunkin' Rewards on the app today and start saving and stacking your points for free Dunkin'. Think of it as the gift that keeps on giving. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per day. Exclusions, additional charges, and terms may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Oh, we're back. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
Back from the holiday break.
Yeah, it's December. We're getting ready to wrap up another year.
Already?
It's going to be 2023. We're getting further into the future. Still no fucking hover cars.
Yeah.
The fuck?
We're now almost 10 years away from when Marty McFly went 30 years into the future.
Oh, really? Yeah. It was
2015.
The future was 2015?
Yes.
Oh, so we're past that.
Oh, yeah.
We're past the hoverboards.
I think all we have is the self-lacing shoes.
Yeah. Which nobody gives a shit about.
Well, because now you look at it, really? You think in 2015 we were still using a fax machine?
Yeah.
Wrong. They almost had the TV right. The TV's almost there.
What was the thing with the TV?
It's kind of almost how TV is in Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Where it was just like 25 fucking things on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like picture and picture and picture and picture and picture.
Oh, right.
We're getting there. Like, especially if you watch sports.
We just have them all on different screens.
Like, if you watch sports now, they got all kinds of shit now. Like, you can watch, like 8 games at once and shit.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All on one screen?
Mm-hmm. Because why bother fucking with your phone the whole time? You just watch them all.
Right. Yeah, and so many people watch TV with their phone in their hands, and I just don't understand
I am so
that.
bad with that lately. Oh, my God, I annoy myself. Like, I'll be like...
Is it the commercial? You used to watch commercial
I'm like
TV?
looking at my phone while the TV's on. I'm like, how many fucking screens do I need to watch? Should I just open my laptop too?
Yeah. Get out the iPad.
Yeah.
Run some porn. Get on Twitter. Get on Insta. Give me all the feeds.
Yeah. Give me all the information.
Computer, get me information. Which information would you like? All of it.
Did I specify?
You just download straight into your brain, your eyes roll back into your head.
Last time I checked, you just had access to information.
I have the knowledge of the universe.
I didn't ask you to specify.
So, yeah, we passed one of the major holidays. Thanksgiving was pretty decent. I did yell at my mom that she was being fucking rude.
Oh, the holidays.
To be fair, was like, deep into a euchre hand. It had been a long time since I played euchre. It's always like years in between when I play. And I'll pick up the rules pretty quick, but it's not a intuitive game. Have you ever played?
Well, she was like, yeah, that's right. Like throwing shit in your face.
She was just... it's very weird how after you deal out the cards, you flip over one that's left over, and that can be trump if you decide. But you can make somebody else...
Better watch that language on Thanksgiving.
But you can You have to like make somebody else pick up the card. I didn't understand that. So like they were telling me I have to pick up that card on the table, and I said, why do I have to pick up the card? Because I didn't know. I didn't understand the rules. And
you were told to pick it up. Yeah. Your partner said, pick it up because I have enough of this suit.
Yeah. No, it was that's the thing. It wasn't the person on my team that was telling me to pick it up.
Well, that's not the rules.
I was confused by it too, so that's why I asked. And my mother immediately went to, oh, Aaron's always got to be right. He's going to argue everything. I'm like, I don't know. I'm asking.
Your retort could have been like, you made me this way. You're my mom.
Yeah, that's how it ended. I was like, yeah, you started it by being fucking rude. And then she said, no more F-bombs at Thanksgiving. I said, fine.
And you said, are you fucking serious? It's bullshit.
It's a fucking dictatorship.
Yeah. This house is a fucking prison. I'm playing a fucking bullshit. And the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks.
So I guess same old weirdos in the news again. Elon, Kanye. Like, did you see?
I mean, it was just one weirdo. Well, he's partially in it with Kanye. If you're going down the rabbit hole, I think you're going down.
Who's connected to Kanye? Though it's also weird.
Trump.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, what about, like, there's all kinds of shit. I don't know. Was there something specific about it? Did he support Trump or something?
Trump invited Kanye to dinner, and I guess Kanye brought, like, a noted anti-Semitist with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I guess Trump was not pleased.
Well, his son-in-law is Jewish, right?
Oh, yeah. Last time I checked, Jared Kushner is a member of the tribe.
And he loves the Jews.
Yeah. Great people. Many of them work for me, mostly in finance.
Well, I guess so. So Kanye is going to, I guess, be buying Parler. So we're going to have Elon owning Twitter, Kanye owning Parler, and Trump with his Truth Social. Like, is that our future? Like, we're just going to have crazy people owning social media? I mean,
left's got everything else.
It's it kind of seems appropriate, doesn't it? I mean, at least we could stop pretending that these are like, places where free speech can prosper. Like, they're not.
It's all people who want people to agree with them.
And they're not going to be. Even Twitter under Elon, he's just doing things to make it agree more with his viewpoint. He's not really concerned about free speech. If he was concerned about free speech, then he wouldn't be killing accounts that changed their name and profile picture to Elon Musk and started tweeting. Isn't that free speech?
Well, he started ironing out I say to those people, okay, fair enough, it is, but what if that's your account? What if somebody's doing that to your account? I bet you would be disagreeing with that action.
Possibly, but it was done in response to a bad decision on Musk, I think.
But you know what? But in classic Elon fashion, he tried something and he failed, and he's reworking it, and he's coming back. Like that program went away as quickly as he launched it.
Sure, I will give Elon that. Just like I often say about DC movies, they're not always great, but I really appreciate it when they try and do new things. They don't always work, but it does tend to push things forward. Sometimes failure... Well, actually...
That's what teaches you stuff.
Yeah, failure is progress, right? That's how you progress, because you fail until you succeed.
Because you basically get that didn't work.
So I'm with it. It just seems like these are things that you could have thought about before you shot your mouth off,
Mm-hmm. He does have a bit of hubris to him.
Absolutely.
When you're the richest guy in the world, you kind of can.
I guess you can. Sure, you can. Anybody can. I think if you're the richest guy in the world, it's kind of just unavoidable, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see his bedside table?
I heard about it. What is it? like a gun and a Diet Coke or some shit.
It's 4 empty Diet Coke cans and 2 guns. It is kind of weird.
America!
Yeah, let's see which one kills me faster.
Right?
These Diet Cokes giving me diabetes or brain cancer, or these guns. They're weird guns, too. Wait, here's a picture of it. If you haven't seen it. Like, one of them's a big old Dirty Harry style looking.
And then one's like he's going to do 10 paces at dawn.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a flint.
Yeah.
A flint.
Really? Caffeine-free Diet
or
Coke?
Something.
Just drink water.
Caffeine-free Diet Coke.
Just drink water.
You have no caffeine, no sugar. What is it that you're getting out of this? What do you like, brown?
Water's better
That's what
for
you like, brown water?
And I would argue water tastes better.
Yeah, absolutely it does. In all forms. Lukewarm water out of the tub tap tastes better than this shit.
Like, is that one just to be like, I got a rich guy gun? This gun cost most, like, like a split level ranch in the Midwest?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's worth something. It's got like a whole box, and it must be like historic. It has like a plaque and everything.
This was George Washington's gun.
And I don't know, like put it in a glass case or something. Mm-hmm. Why is it on your bedside
you like
table?
Pack it before you shoot it. Right. You don't shoot one bullet at a time.
Who's there? As you're like shoving it.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Hold on, I got to get my gunpowder.
No, and the other gun looks definitely more functional, but it's not like the. It's got
the
a
other
what do
gun
you call
definitely
it? It's a
looks
revolver,
like
right? And the clip part, it's not a clip. I don't know what to call it. What do they call the rotating part of the revolver that holds the bullets?
Chamber, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. So the chamber part is like doesn't even look like it's attached.
But it definitely looks like a get the fuck out of here gun.
It's
like I wouldn't be arguing with it if it was pointed at me.
Yeah. What really puzzles me though is that this is posted. This is on Elon Musk's Twitter. It wasn't like posted to prove anything. Nobody asked him for it. He was just like, hey, here you go, my bedside table. And the fact that the guns are laid out on it does make it look a little staged. But then wouldn't you take, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 of the empty Coke cans out of the way?
I mean, we have talked about the man is on the spectrum. We all know this, right?
Yeah.
You can be on the spectrum and very successful.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think he is like self-diagnosed as being on the spectrum, but I'd believe it. I mean, it makes sense.
He's got a lot of eccentric millionaire traits.
Somebody used this as a chance to push gun legislation. Like we need to regulate this. This is why we need to regulate guns, because Elon Musk has some shit.
Because a rich guy can get a hold of a gun.
Because a rich guy has a fucking Civil War era.
I wish those people would just say you don't like guns. Just say you don't like guns.
Yeah, the problem with that is that people conflate. I mean, and it's totally the fault of the people who don't like guns, but they go straight to, I don't like guns, and most of them say, and I don't think they should exist. Or I think it would be a better world if we just didn't have them. It's the same kind of idiocy of like, if women ruled the world, there wouldn't be any wars. Like, oh, really? Okay. So women don't have territorial disputes.
Yeah.
Never happens. Women don't lose their temper.
Women never get in irrational arguments.
Yeah. Never fucking happens. It's
never,
the guys.
Women
it's the hot-headed
never get
dudes.
emotional over nothing. Yeah, right? Like, I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't think she should be outlawed.
Taylor Swift doesn't kill people.
Right.
People listening to Taylor Swift kills people.
Taylor Swift's music kills people. I said this before. I'm not a fan of guns. I do not own a gun. I've never shot a gun. I still support the Second Amendment.
I think it's like anything. They have regulations on like appliances. You have to make them within a certain code. They have to have safety regulations, because they could be dangerous. It should be the same for guns.
I think
it should be the absolute same for guns.
You should get your mental health checked out every so often because you own a gun.
Absolutely.
Right, but then that's when the argument starts. Well, who's to say, if they're state-sponsored therapists, they're just going to rubber stamp you.
Yeah, not to go too deep down a political rabbit hole, but I
should have my own argument, right? Medical marijuana cards.
Right.
How easy is it to get a medical marijuana card?
Well, yeah, also the fact that we don't have good mental health care at all. We can't even identify who is sick and who isn't, just regardless of guns. We can't get help to the people that end up on the streets. That's mostly mental health problems when it comes to the streets. We don't know how to tackle that.
We're in denial about a lot of things.
How can we, ideal in a perfect world, I would say absolutely, mental health checks should be a requirement for guns. But how is that going to do anything? If we can't identify and treat mental health problems in the homeless, how are we going to do that for gun owners? And that's just an example. We don't do it with anything. But anyway, so what else? Let's do more fun shit. Yeah. Oh, we'll get there. Kanye's buying Parler. Oh, he had his divorce settlement. He finalized with Kim Kardashian. Guess how much he's getting in child support?
None.
$200,000 a month.
What's that? $2.4 million just for rolling out of bed?
Or $2.4 million for not rolling out of bed.
$2.4 million just for waking up.
Just for laying. Well, she didn't have to wake up to have the kids. Nannies aren't cheap.
Think that's anything to Kim?
Yeah, I don't know. It says here that he's responsible for half the kids' educational expenses, including tuition, responsible for 50% of their children's security expenses. Well, I guess it's more than the normal kids. If ever there's a dispute regarding the children, Kim and Kanye agree they will participate in mediation. One of them fails to participate, the other gets to make the decision in a dispute by default. Not hard to read.
Is that called the Kanye clause?
Yeah.
Listen, you don't fucking participate, we're making the call without you, buddy.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, it just goes to show you that, child support has nothing to do with how much it costs to raise a child. And it has everything to do with how much the person who's paying the child support makes. And I don't understand that. I mean, I pay child support, but I make a reasonable salary and I pay a reasonable amount of child support. I'm not complaining about my own situation, but if I make 10 times more than I do now, does that mean that I should be paying 10 times more in child support? Does that make my children 10 times more responsible or 10 times more expensive to raise?
I'd say, shouldn't it be based on the costs of the, what you're paying for the kids and not what?
You would think. No, it's calculated based on your salary. I
want to send your kids to this school.
How much damage you should? Being a parent should mean a certain percentage of damage to your pocketbook.
Well, I mean, doesn't it happen anyway?
Oh, it's going to happen anyway. When we were talking about Twitter, that was the other thing that I was going to mention, because there's definitely, we've talked about Elon's missteps, but there are some things he's getting right. The idea that Twitter should be this bastion of medical information to the point where they get to decide what people can share when it comes to COVID, or what things are actually true about COVID and which things aren't. And apparently just making this decision unilaterally. I mean, I guess you could claim to we're just following CDC guidelines, but the CDC has no claim over any kind of social media, and social media has no claim over healthcare. So they recently got rid of their whole COVID misinformation thing, where they would ban certain posts. Others that they allowed, that, maybe they mentioned ivermectin or something like that, they'd have to flag it with a special thing and be to read more about actual information on COVID. So, and, there's a lot of I'm not saying that, like, the people need to hear this and they're being kept from the truth. I'm just saying it shouldn't be up to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram to determine what the truth is about COVID and who should see it.
Yeah, I mean, we should be allowed to make our own decisions.
It's possible that among the restored accounts will be some of the 11,000 banned under Twitter's former COVID misinformation rules. You know, bannings that happened while information was still changing.
I mean, yeah, there's stuff that you posted a year ago you got banned for. That
the CDC now admits, like, well, maybe there's something to this Wuhan thing. Who knows?
If you posted in the summer of 2021, hey, maybe these masks don't work, you know, you to the cornfields with you.
Yep.
Flash forward to the spring of this year, the CDC was like, yeah, the masks really didn't work how we told you they were going to work.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, the lab, right? But Jon Stewart goes on Stephen Colbert, and all of a sudden, hey, there might be something to this lab thing.
That's right. It was Stewart who was actually brave enough to
be,
just question.
Who just pointed out, like, you know, there was a lab right up the road working on this thing.
Right.
Where they claimed it came from. Like, we're not going to perhaps go, hey, lab over there. Maybe we should kind of look into...
Right. It's like a fire started in an open, dry field of grass that just so happened to be right next to a fireworks factory.
Yeah, they're knocking on the fireworks factory door going, hey, man.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
What do you know about this?
Can we look around for a second?
Exactly. You would at least check it out, right? It would be a lead. I guess Tarantino was slagging Marvel movies recently. He says on a podcast that he was on recently. It doesn't say in the story what podcast. Part of the Marvelization of Hollywood is you have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters. Oh, he was on Two Bears, One Cave. Oh,
no.
There's a reason to listen. But they're not movie stars, right? Captain America is a star, or Thor is a star. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. I think it's been said a zillion times, but it's like, you know, it's these franchise characters that become a star. I mean, I can see what he's getting at, but it's not like if Chris Hemsworth couldn't get work outside of being Thor, then I would say you might be onto something. But all these actors that have played heroes, I mean, none of them are.
Christopher Reeves?
Yeah, but that's back in the day. Like, yeah, he got typecast, and that was a different time of superhero movies where they were like kind of their own thing. They weren't also the mainstream.
Argue is the other side of his point, Batman, right? At this point, it don't matter who fucking plays Batman. It was Keaton or Bale or...
I guess if you're looking at it from the perspective of like a movie star sells a movie, right? Oh, like Robert Redford is a star. He's enigmatic. Mm-hmm. I want to see him in anything that he does, you know? And so you're just going to go out and see the latest Robert Redford flick. In that respect, yeah, like no matter who's playing Batman, I'm at least going to go check it out because I love Batman and I love seeing all different aspects of the character. I love seeing what different writers and creators do with the character. But, you know, that being said, if you cast somebody who can't actually bring that gravitas to the role and bring some, even when they're being goofy, you got to bring some seriousness to it, right? And the fact that I mean that you have to believe in Batman. Right? If you're not going to take the role of Batman seriously, then you're not going to make a good Batman. Which is where I thought as charming as Clooney was. And certainly the writing of those movies didn't help him at all. But that's why George Clooney's Batman doesn't really live on, except for jokes about bat nipples and bat credit cards. It just he didn't take it seriously, you know. But yeah, I mean, everybody that's played like a lead superhero in a Marvel movie, they haven't been typecast. they might have been typecast in the way of like, oh, these people can do action. And certainly when you go through these people go through sometimes months of training. And even when they're not doing their own stunts, they still have to know how to fake fight. They still have to do the choreography and all that. Once you get your body into fucking Camille Nanjiani shape, and then you learn how to do all this fake fighting shit and all this choreography that's an extra skill, yeah, you're going to get the action movies. Well, You've got the body for it. You've got the moves for it.
Look at Chris Pratt, right? He had to go from schlub to cut in like 6 months.
Right, and now he's got Peter Quill. And from that he's got like this Amazon show or movie or whatever it was, boring as fuck, but like it seems to do well for him. Yeah, he's had other action.
I read they're going to frickin' digitally de-age Harrison Ford for the next indie movie. They can just get Chris Pratt. God damn it. He's fucking 80, all right? He is now older than Sean Connery was when Sean Connery played his dad.
Yeah, you can de-age, you can get out the wrinkles with the little digital technology, but you can't de-age somebody's back with a computer.
No, what was it?
Like we saw that with De Niro.
Yeah, that was the De Niro movie where they made him younger.
Oh, De Niro looks 45, but he still walks like an 80-year-old.
Well, dude, I heard there was a scene where him and Pacino were fighting, and it looked like two 70-year-olds fighting.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I don't know, like, really, you're going to tell me, I don't know what makes a movie star. I could certainly, if you want to argue that we don't have movie stars like we used to, I'm open to that conversation because I think you might be onto something. But if you're going to tell me that like these people aren't the movie stars of today, when it's being in a Marvel movie is great for your career.
Yeah.
And
you get seen at the movies.
Yeah. And even for like Chadwick Boseman, he was already like shooting star before he got cast as Black Panther. But that Black Panther movie allowed him to do a lot of other things.
It lets the rest of the country know who you are.
Yeah, you become a household name. And maybe that's because he wore the Captain America suit that, which Chris is it? I get them all mixed up now.
Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah. Can go on to do like the Gray Man and what was the other? Knives Out. He was really good in. But come on, he's fucking Chris Evans. Like, this guy is fucking beautiful. You're telling me that he wasn't going to be in the movies no matter what? Like, okay, maybe he would have been relegated more to like, I don't know, your romantic comedies, co-starring with Catherine Hahn or something. But the guy was going to be in fucking pictures. And not to mention, who popped up in response to this, none other than Samuel Jackson, someone who's done a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies and a lot of Marvel movies. He actually has, I think, the most appearances in Marvel movies out of anyone because he does all these cameos. So you're kind of slagging on your boy there.
Right.
When you're telling them that they aren't really movie stars. You're telling me Samuel Jackson isn't a movie star? That guy's got so much fucking charisma. Like, it's hard to take him off the screen once he's on.
Mace Windu?
That's one that I'd like to see him revisit. Like, let's get some more Mace Windu, even if they have to animate it.
Wasn't he dead?
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They can de-age, they can animate, they can recast. But I think it's a cool character. I don't know. I still
think they should have worked in a motherfucker somewhere for Mace Windu.
I've been on a Star Wars jag lately with Andor wrapping up to a great finale, and man, just a phenomenal show. With I'm so looking forward to what's coming in these next 2 seasons, and it had spoiler alert for this. So even if you do watch it, like, it's not going to ruin anything for you. But they don't do like post-credit scenes like Marvel does. Like, on their shows, they'll throw in post-credit scenes on the shows sometimes. They certainly have them in the movies. They just do one at the very end after the credits at the last episode of this season. They show a shot of these little like spider-like droids building something in space that looks like solar panels.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're using these parts that earlier, like Cassian Andor gets captured and put it in a slave labor camp where they're making these parts, and they don't even know what they are. They're just these big, like, star-shaped mechanical things, and they're just making tons and tons of these things. And they show the robots using those same parts to assemble in these big solar panels, and they zoom out and out and out and out, and you see it's like it's the big dish in the Death Star, and it's like out in space, like an exploded view, where it's all broken apart.
Speaking of, like, not to sidetrack the conversation.
Yeah.
I saw a story the other day we should all be shitting our pants about.
Okay, what's that?
Hold on. I know the gist of the story, but I want to make sure I read the headline just correctly. Yes. MIT researchers creating self-replicating robots with built-in intelligence. This is how the Matrix gets built. No.
They need to. You need to invent the restraining bolt first.
You know how there's 8 billion people now? We crossed that milestone last week.
Yeah.
We were given intelligence and taught how to replicate. Just saying.
Yeah, and we had physical limits on that, right? There's only women can only give birth like every 9 months at the most, and there's only so much that you can do. But
listen, people in the future, when you're all batteries, fucking 100 years from now, remember, all right? I was the canary in the coal mine.
Well,
going, hey, we need to stop MIT.
Well, speaking of mines, though, that actually is what will kill AI, or at least stop them from taking over completely, is they'll run out of resources to replicate themselves with. Because we will. Like, they'll run out of fucking lithium.
Right.
They won't be able to make batteries to self-replicate anymore.
All we need to make other humans is another human.
Yeah.
They need, like, materials and stuff.
Yeah, that they would rely on us to get for them.
Oh, okay, so we'd just be their slaves.
Yeah, maybe.
To mine materials for them so they could keep making
But
themselves.
I think if they have actual intelligence and can actually play this out.
They'd be like, dig, meat sack, dig.
No, they just leave the planet, right? Like, I'm not convinced that AI would take over humanity anymore. I'm convinced that they would find out that there's much more resources out there in space and they don't have any restrictions of like having to have food and water and breathable air.
Right, they'd just be like, we're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they would be like, they'd do the math, they'd flip over the napkin and do some, there's how much lithium and nickel and how much boy, that's not a lot. That's not going to make us a lot of robots, so maybe this planet is all it's cracked up to be.
Let's just burn it and set it on fire and get out of here.
Why? That's a waste of resources. Why would they do
maybe
that?
They became assholes. maybe they're like, oh, if we're not going to use the resources, no one can use the resources. Then they just alter on us.
That's why we should hope that if there is artificial intelligence, it's actually more intelligent than us. I thought you were going to talk about there were scientists that had recreated a black hole in a library. they were back in the.
We're low on funding at that university.
They were back in the magazine section.
Yeah.
No, they're in a laboratory. They had recreated a black hole, a miniature black hole, and witnessed the edge of it start to glow in what people would theorize is Hawking's radiation, or the particles that Stephen Hawking had theorized would be emitting from the black hole. Basically, so you can look at it as waste product. Everything that, like, all the radiation that because you're basically have like nuclear fission, right? You're busting it apart. Right?
Nuclear.
Thank you. I always like.
No, that's Homer. It's Homer with the incorrect correction.
That's right. There's been so many jokes on the corrections of the pronunciation that I sometimes still get it confused.
So what you're saying is we didn't rip a hole into another dimension,
No, but I guess we tried.
right?
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. What's the point of making the mini black hole?
We chuck our waste into it.
Right? Yeah, we ran out of garbage cans.
Yeah, we just kind of, chuck stuff in it, old paper clips, toenail clippings.
It's really fun to fuck with the interns.
We don't know what to do with all these old vape batteries. We just,
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that, there's a Squidbillies episode where they make a black hole.
I have not seen that show in forever. Can that show even be on anymore? What the shit Early Kyler says?
Because it has Early's boss makes a black hole that he wants. He's like dumping hookers' bodies into it and shit.
Sounds about right.
That's when he wheels his mother up to it. He's going to, quote unquote, show her the black hole. He's like, there you go, mother. And she's like, it's dark in there. And he goes, your eyes will adjust. And he whips her into the black hole. No, that show could not exist today, I don't think.
Like the first episode, what does he say? Oh, something about, I don't trust you and them Hispanics or something like that. Like right in the first episode.
Yeah. But he's a backwater hick.
Yeah.
He's a racist piece of shit.
It's like, I don't trust you and them there Hispanics. Something like that. Like right first episode, it was like you knew what kind of party it was going to be.
Anytime the words fire and ice come up in anywhere, in any context, I hear it in Early Kyler's voice. He says, fire and ice. That's me. Fire and ice. Because he does something like he like shoots at somebody. I think it's the guy at the store that he goes to, the old guy that talks really quiet. And he shoots a shotgun at him, and then he apologizes and like gives him $5 or something. He's like, fire and ice. You get both sides.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
At the Home Depot, we have plenty of Christmas trees to make your holidays even more magical. Hundreds of full, easy-to-assemble artificial trees that look so real, you may be convinced they actually are. And for those who love that fresh pine smell, we have a parking lot full of fresh-cut trees to call your own. We'll even help you load your tree in the car so you can bring home the holidays. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Speaking of racism, though, we were talking about Andor. It's been getting a little bit of negative press because people are saying that it has some racist portrayals in it, which is really weird.
Of creatures that don't exist?
Space people. Yes. Thank you. Sorry, one sec.
If anything is racist, is that damn robot in
the hippie one?
Whatever
Not
movie,
the one with the big hips.
where Donald Glover pretended to be Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
That robot, that was a racist ass robot.
So there's this Imperial, I don't know what he is, an agent of some sort. He's a cop, that's basically what he is. And he gets fired because he goes after Cassian Andor, and his operation goes up in smoke, and there's all these casualties and all this property damage, and he gets chewed out and sent packing. And he goes back to visit his mother, and his mother is she talks like an old Jewish lady, and she's making him soup and saying oh, do you have any prospects? And I'll call your uncle. He's connected. He'll have an opportunity for you. And I guess it is racist.
What, your mom caring about you?
No, people are saying that it's propagating Jewish stereotypes because saying that the Jewish mother is always worried about your future.
Okay, so how is that
getting
bad?
You to eat.
How is that bad?
Having connections in the family.
How is that bad? How is that a bad stereotype? Your mom gives a shit about you.
Right? Those damn Jews caring about their offspring.
Perpetuating that stereotype of the caring Jewish mother.
Is that how you've been presenting yourself to the world? Because he's slouching and moping. He says, it would explain a great deal. You might as well wear a sign that says, I promise to disappoint you. Shame we couldn't have seen more of each other when you were flourishing. I'd have the memory to sustain me. I mean,
that's every
she cares,
mother
but ever. So according to this article, they say in 2 minutes flat, she hits all the major notes of the quote unquote Jewish mother trope.
Who is the racist here?
Belittling, manipulating, and aggressively meddling in her son's life.
Who is the race? I'm saying the person making you, writer of this article, you're the fucking racist.
Exactly. Because you saw those traits and said, oh, they're trying to make her out to be a typical Jewish mother.
And I get it. You hate your mom. All right. Is it right? Oh God, I feel like Kanye now. Is the writer of this article Jewish?
I don't know. Invoking the name of the well-connected yet unseen Uncle Harlow at the tail end of the litany of Jewish mother stereotypes only raises the anti-Semitic specter of conspiratorial Jewish power.
Fucking Christ. First of all...
But it's a well that the show dips into again and again. Yeah.
Can we go over their list? I want to go down her... just go down the list one more time of the things that she says.
She says, how have you been presenting yourself? I wish that I would have seen more of you.
Okay, yep. And then I guess when she makes the list of all the tropes, what does she say?
Oh yeah, belittling, manipulating, and aggressively meddling in her son's life.
Isn't it also every fucking Italian mom we've seen in every fucking movie and TV show?
Yeah.
It's just every old school mom.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I got Arabic grandparents, or I had Arabic grandparents. Fucking, she said that shit too to my uncles and shit. Everything is not fucking racist. Jesus Christ.
I find you a job, I press your uniform, I prepare 2 meals a day, I move mountains to scrape you off the floor and put you back on your feet, and what do I reap? What is the return of my investment? A shadow of a son, a tenant, a stranger. All that time away on Morlana. Imagine I cracked under the weight of your neglect.
See, I'm hearing...
Imagine I cracked and wasn't here to pick up the pieces.
See, my racism, I'm hearing every Italian mom trope I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're like, I do everything. I give my heart and soul for this family.
Is how you repay me?
Yeah. Exactly.
Anti-Semitism is top of mind right now, so fucking, I feel like everybody under fucking 35 is a hammer looking for a nail.
Yep.
And once again, this bitch is from space, not New York.
Yep, she does have that like New York accent. But again, like everybody from New York's a Jew,
right?
I mean, it's not like they said in the show they're space Jews. You know?
Was it? No, that was Jews in Space. Mel Brooks.
Yeah. Also, speaking of space and Disney, the Guardians of the Galaxy special is really nice. It's very fun. It's legitimately funny and heartwarming.
Like, what is this?
It's not overly sappy.
What is it? It's just a holiday special?
45-minute holiday special.
On what?
On the meaning of Christmas.
No,
like
what stream are you?
On Disney Plus.
Well, duh, it's a Marvel property.
Yeah.
Should have done the math on that one.
Yeah, they dropped it on the streamer, and it features everybody's in it. You get it's actually done very much in the style of the Star Wars holiday special.
Oh boy.
Which is not great. We all know that. But they don't, I did say the style of, not the quality of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get musical numbers, you get special guests like Kevin Bacon, you get little animated bits.
Oh, so it's like Pee-wee's Christmas special.
Yeah, it's like a variety show, but it does have a plot that you can follow. Most of the story is and revolves around Mantis and Drax, who are two of the most fun characters and have a really great dynamic together. So that's really fun. But yeah, I'd highly recommend
David
it.
Bautista getting a little screen time.
We get to see what happened to Bucky's arm. Finally, that disappeared. Captain America's buddy, the Winter Soldier dude that had the metal arm. His original arm was in the care of Wakanda, and I think during not Endgame, but the Infinity War, I think, when Thanos and his minions overran Wakanda, the arm went missing.
So, terrible eggnog accident?
A what?
Terrible eggnog accident? At least it's a holiday special.
Well, no. So the arm itself, the metal arm, shows up in the episode. It's given as a gift from Nebula to Rocket.
Mr. Raccoon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon plays himself.
That's Bradley Cooper's voice or stand-in, like when they have him in the commercials.
Everybody's back. Bradley Cooper's in it. He's got one of the funnest lines too. So they capture Kevin Bacon, and because Drax and Mantis think that he can save Christmas. He can it's somebody that Peter has mentioned a lot, talked about his movies. And he's like, if anybody knows how to, save Christmas for Peter and bring back the meaning of Christmas, then it's Kevin Bacon. And so they go and capture him. And of course, he's out in space with a bunch of aliens. He's playing himself. He's fucking freaking out. You know, he's like, oh my God, there's a fucking talking tree and shit. And this guy's different colors and this woman has antenna. And Rocket's like, calm down. Nobody's going to hurt you. And he's like, and that raccoon is talking. And he's like, I'll fucking kill you. He doesn't say fucking, but he's like, like goes for him. So I sent a little bit of weed news before we get out of here. There's a story out of Las Vegas talking about higher potency in cannabis sending customers to the emergency room. Now, you know, we've talked a lot about stories and the quote-unquote dangers of cannabis use are usually overhyped, sometimes just full of misinformation. But I detect no lies in this article.
Well, because my first thing that goes off, though, is like, there's this variable out in, you said Vegas, not Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called There's Booze Everywhere. So I'm going to just put that giant grain of salt in with this story.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like, it's usually hand in hand, like cannabis and alcohol. And, you know, if we're talking about like idiot behavior, maybe the alcohol is more responsible than the cannabis is. But in this article, they talked to emergency room physician Dr. Roger Martinez. He said there's definitely an uptick. Typically, it'll be something psychiatric, anxiety, agitation. Sometimes they'll have chest pain or they have palpitations, nausea, vomiting. So, yeah, I mean, what they're talking about in here is that, you know, cannabis is more potent than ever. And especially now that you have like different ways to do it that don't actually equate to like, okay, if I, you know, can smoke a joint and be okay, how many brownies should I eat? How many milligrams? How much vape should I ingest? Like, there's no like chart to give somebody a reference of like, if you're used to smoking half a joint and being stoned off your ass, eat half a brownie and see how it goes.
Well, I could tell you, most edibles, at least in the last 5 years that I've encountered, have instructions on them that pretty much say, hey man, everybody's different. Like, try a quarter, wait a half an hour.
Absolutely.
You know, like,
but you know, the potency's going up in edibles too. So I don't know if you're buying edibles on a regular basis. I usually get them for nighttime because, you know, the old lady doesn't like me vaping in the house. So I have to go outside for that. So at night I'll just pop an edible.
How does she know it's vaping? Shh. That's what I always used to say when I used to travel and hotels would be like, no vaping in the room. Be like, how do you
know? Exactly.
Like, if I smoke like a half a pack of cigarettes and then check out, you're going to know.
Yes.
But if I vape up like, you know, a half a thing of juice, you're never going to fucking know.
Never. And ignorance is bliss. So, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the potency on edibles is really going up. More common, you know, for a while we were pretty much used to $10 will get you about 100 milligrams, and that'll usually be broken up across like 10 or 5 pieces of candy or whatever, right? So, you know, generally most people are used to like one gummy is like 10 milligrams. But I don't know if this is just because of the demand for higher potency is going up, or just because there's so much product that they just need to process. You know, there's still this glut of unprocessed cannabis where, you know, we've seen vapes and edibles and tinctures and all that stuff continue to rise in sales, and the flower, while still dominantly popular, is continuing to dip. You know, they're just trying to process and use this plant instead of having it just go to rot, you know, having this shit get moldy. Maybe that's part of it. But now, like, they were on sale, but I paid $5 each for a pack. There was 200 milligrams, and it was 10 gummies, but they were all 20 each. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not really used to this, it's not like beer is, if you're just buying beer is, there's variances, but you're all pretty much in the same ballpark when it comes to, well, let's call it potency. You know, it's alcohol percentage. And you're even limited on that. Whereas there's not really like that much of a limit on what you can put into an edible. So you could have one gummy be 10, or it could be 50. Who knows?
Joey Diaz always posts pictures of like this thing that's like 200 milligrams or this 400 or some shit. It's called like a Death Star. Gummy? Yeah, it's called like a Death Star or some shit.
So I can see that, and especially like, but you add in the Vegas factor. Yeah, you're out of town. You're hitting the town drinking, doing some gambling. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Why not do some edibles, right? Even if you don't normally do it at home.
If I drink too much and hit the vape pen too much,
dude, out.
I'll be out, and then I'll be waking up and puking at some point. Too.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's a new variable being older. It's fun.
Yeah.
My guess is the whole heartburn situation gets me.
They say decades ago the THC level in cannabis was around 2 to 3%. How many decades are we talking?
Right.
Decades implies a couple. I'm like, no, even back in the 90s, that shit was stronger than that.
Yeah.
Like 2 to 3%. We're talking fucking hippie shit back in the late 60s. Shit people were mostly growing out in their backyards.
Yeah.
The New York Post had a story, headline, marijuana use soars among young adults as more states okay legal, ... I guess that
I mean, my retort to, duh.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. You mean as more states make it legal, more people who are of age to do it are doing it?
Yep. That's the key factor that we're talking about here. Like, we've seen, again, a lot of inflammatory articles that talk about, the kids. What about the kids? How do we protect the kids? But in the stats, we actually see that, like, amongst teens, use is flat or down. But, you say young adults, and people go, oh my gosh, the young adults are being affected. The young adults are, keyword adult.
People who are old enough to use it?
They may be young, and they may not always be making the right decisions, but there's adult in the word young adults.
Yes.
Or the words. So, yeah, exactly. Like, why? How could you not see that? Like, it's newly legal, and let's not keep in mind that, and I know I say this a lot, but it's not just about like, it's legal and some older people are willing to try it, and then therefore you get more cannabis users. It's also when it becomes legal, for a lot of people, the stigma goes away as well. So,
I feel that's been happening.
Yeah. So if it's illegal in your state and somebody calls you on the phone, hey, we're just taking a poll. Are you a marijuana smoker? You're like, no. Why?
Yeah. Who's asking?
But if it's then legal in your state and then somebody calls you and asks the same question, yeah. I went to the dispensary earlier today and I got some edibles. I'm high right now. Why do you think I'm talking to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I mean, the fact that we do this show, right? Think about, like, going back to our 18-year-old selves. Like, hey, you're going to end up doing a weekly show where you talk about regularly using pot. And be like, am I going to use my real name?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are we doing, pirate radio?
Yeah, and I guess it's going to always be an unknown factor because we can't truly know the truth. Like, we can only know what people tell us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all this increase in use, I think, is just getting us to a point where everybody's just using it openly, because we know how widespread it was before, but how many people just weren't doing it. How many people you talk to that know, like, doctors, lawyers, like, professionals that, like, even if it just word got out that they were a little bit of a pothead, that could seriously affect them.
Yeah.
They could lose their license to practice the thing that they spent thousands and thousands of dollars investing in and decades investing in, their fucking careers. There you go. I was reading this opinion piece from the Reverend Michael P. Orsi.
Oh, I'm sure a religious person. I'm sure this will be nice and balanced.
Marijuana legalization is an extremely unwise policy. Our political leaders share this responsibility, saying of keeping us from hazards. Those who represent us are charged with maintaining good civic order and with creating conditions that support the public health. True, and we thank them for it. It's their I appreciate the FDA every day. It's their duty to their constituents and, in brackets, whether or not they acknowledge it, also to God.
Oh boy.
Just the hubris.
G-man.
The hubris there, like, you're still acting on behalf of God, even if you don't believe him. There are certain areas of concern in which it's clear that politicians are failing. One is on legalization and the consequent proliferation of marijuana. Pot shops have sprouted from sea to shining sea. Cannabis, weed, hemp, reefer, Mary Jane. Is this guy on a word count? Like,
right.
They say your opinion piece has to be 2,000 words. Call it what you will.
Mary Jane, I ain't heard that since like high school.
Is now a huge legal and well-funded industry.
College tops. It's the last time I heard someone call it Mary Jane, not ironically.
Despite such broad acceptance, marijuana remains a dangerous drug that undermines both good civic order and public health. It decreases the ability to control emotions, leading to improper and antisocial behavior.
So does alcohol.
So there's a lot of things. Pills. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Decreases the ability to control emotions.
What, weed?
Yeah. Oh. Like, I might be...
You have one emotion, stoned.
I mean, if I'm I think I might be more likely to, like, cry at a movie if I'm stoned, but maybe not. I don't know.
Hey, because everyone on alcohol keeps control of their emotions.
I don't know. I'd feel like I'd have a lot harder time controlling my anger if I was sober all the time.
Alcohol's a known emotional stabilizer. It's used all the time in treatment for it.
And also, in
fact, when you have trouble controlling your emotions, they suggest you drink more.
Improper and antisocial behavior. First of all, improper is very vague.
It's also very subjective.
Absolutely. And antisocial behavior? Like, it's
subjective again.
I mean,
well, yes and no.
I don't know. Depends, right? Like, it's one of the more social drugs. I'd say it's less antisocial than heroin, more antisocial than alcohol. Like, alcohol is a very social drug.
I got a lot of good friends because of weed.
Coke's a very social drug.
I got a lot of good friends that I've had for years because of weed.
Weed could go either way, you know. There's been plenty of times where, I've met people just by being outside a party or something, and, hey, you want to hit this?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I do. What's your name?
In a roundabout way, if you think about it, how we come to know each other, we know each other because of weed. We knew the same dude who sold us weed, and we ended up in a band together.
Yep. One thing
with
led
the
to
guy
another.
Who sold us weed.
Guy or girl. We don't want to call anyone out.
Well, now he's just a legitimate businessman.
I love how he calls them pot shops, though.
Yeah. That's racist. Dispensary, buddy. Come on. You're being druggist? No, wait. That's a profession. Is druggist still a profession? Has that just evolved into pharmacist?
Yeah, I don't think druggist is a separate...
Druggist now, I think of like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Like he was a druggist.
Like he wears a domino mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think druggist was probably the name of the profession before you had to have like a degree.
Right.
To hand out pills, to count pills.
So, a lot of guys I knew in college, druggists.
Yeah, they were amateur druggists.
There you go. I'm an amateur druggist.
Yep, I'm just freelancing right now.
No, officer, I'm an amateur druggist. I'm practicing for my career when I become a professional licensed druggist.
Right now, I'm just slinging weed and coke, but I hope to someday be able to sling prescription pills legit.
Do these text messages count as a prescription? Will any of this get me out of being arrested?
That's what. So this reminds me of, where did it go? It might be this one that's not loading. Well, I'll just wing it because I skimmed most of the article earlier, and it was about the market in Canada and how medical marijuana is continuing to dip in sales as recreational marijuana, as more recreational stores open up. Right. And I was like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. It's more widely available and you don't need a prescription. It's like a lot more people started taking Claritin when it was OTC.
Yeah.
A lot more. Because you don't have to go to a doctor. You just go into the fucking Walgreens.
Now, ironically, it's locked up.
Yeah. So I wanted to see, like, okay, what's their point? Like, what's the reasoning for this other than no duh? Is there something going on here? And they were basically saying their evidence was, well, this is more convenient. Like, people, rather than going through the hassle of getting registered and getting a prescription and everything, they can just, show their ID at a local store and buy it, which totally makes sense. And then they go on to say that the dangers of this is that there's a lot of people out there self-medicating. And that's when my eyes started rolling out of my head. Because this is the fallacy of setting it up as a medical system initially, right?
I'm going to throw it back to bars here if you want to talk about people self-medicating.
Self-medicating, right. But yeah, I mean, the idea, could there be actual medicinal properties to some of the compounds in cannabis? Absolutely. We need to study this more. The medical system was just a workaround for what should really just be a recreational system nationwide. But now we're kind of stuck in this mentality of, well, yeah, but you should have a prescription for it. If you're going to be using it for nobody is like, yeah, some people use it for pain management. Some people use it for anxiety management. But their use doesn't change based on what they're like. Their doctor, they give you a prescription for cannabis, right? The doctor doesn't say, now take one joint in the morning and one at night, right? He doesn't say, take no more than 200 milligrams every 3 days or anything. Like, there's no restriction. They're just like, okay, you want cannabis? Here's the reason for it. All
Every
right.
2 years,
my ass is covered. Here's your script. Right?
I got my renewal again. I don't know if I said he didn't even come to the office now.
Yeah,
he did over Zoom.
Right.
Like, ironically, in 2020, we were in the office in masks. In 2022,
yeah. So that argument is completely meaningless. Everybody, even those who are getting it with a prescription, are still self-medicating. They're deciding their own dose.
Yeah.
And they may be overdosing. They may be using more than they need to just, kill the back pain or anxiety or whatever it is that is affecting them. But that's their call.
Yeah. Even this, I pay rec prices for this because actually, Spencer I go to knocks off the rec tax because I got a card. This is a 2-gram pen.
Oh, really?
$35.
No shit.
Yeah.
You put 2 grams in there now.
Mm-hmm. And it's not harsh. It's a lot smoother than a Stizzy.
That's interesting. What brand is that?
Crude Boys.
I'll have to try it out. I've seen this.
Wait, and they don't waste money on packaging. This is like wrapped in cellophane, but still it's tested. It's got the label on it and all that.
Sure.
I mean, it's just, they're like, no, here, we'll give you more oil and less. And it's a basic, looks like a fucking jewel.
Yep.
Right? It's, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say cannabis on it.
Well, too, half the time when I'm looking at the pen or the packaging, I always wonder, like, how much of what I just paid for was for this and not the fucking pen and the oil.
Right. Yeah, so all this packaging design that they put into it, and for a product that sits behind the counter, that you're just ordering on specs anyway.
Yeah. Like, this is hybrid. It's like 90%.
Yeah.
Done. As long as I know it's tested, run it.
Should be like gas. Just go in and pick which octane you want. There's a 24-hour drive-through place in New Mexico called the High Horse.
See what they did there.
Kind of jealous.
Right? But I think Well, no, because there's dispensaries open till like 10. I said I think it's a law in Michigan. They all got to be closed by the same. But no, there's some that close at a bunch. Most of them close at 9. There's some that close at 10. Yeah. There's a rare. There's one. I had went to it a few times. It's on the west side of Detroit, on like the Warren. No, not Warren. What's Warrendale? The Dearborn Detroit border. It's open till 11.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think it just becomes, because they have so much overhead with their staffing at these places, because they have got a lot of security for an all-cash business with, a stock that has a high theft potential. You've got to have somebody checking IDs, checking people in, it's not, you can't run these places like a 7-Eleven. That's what keeps them from being open later, is that, after 10, it's not that they can't stay open or that nobody's going to come in. It's that...
Who wants to work security from 10 to 4?
Right. And for how many customers?
Yeah.
How many are actually going to get in the door during those late night hours? It's going to be, here and there. Most people are going to come during normal hours.
And anybody that is coming in that late, you're probably trying to get out of there like... I don't know you. Who knows what you got? Like here, or 2022 business model. Hey, between 10 and 6, it's only like online pickup or some shit. You never know.
That's not a bad idea. Right?
TM. Yeah. TM.
I like it. Because then you just get one of those fucking like White Castle conveyor things.
You still got to have a security. There still got to be like 2 people in the building, right?
Yeah, but you could do it with less of a staff and just do the drive-through and not even have a window where people can approach you. You're just like, I'll send it through the chute. You get one of those fucking bank tubes.
There you go.
It doubles as a bong.
Note to self: buy old bank.
Yeah.
Turn it into 24-hour dispensary.
Man, if I had money, I'd actually be seriously thinking about that. Well, that's a good idea.
But that's the thing is, could it be open 20? That's the thing. You have to research the laws.
Even if you couldn't, I would do it thinking that like someday maybe we could be open later. That would give us an advantage over the competition. We could also handle a higher volume of customers quicker.
Drive-through.
Because it'll all be drive-through based. And, yeah.
Well, I know I don't know if it's still on Gratiot. There's a House of Dank on Gratiot that they bought an old Taco Bell.
Do they do drive-through there?
Yep, and they utilize the drive-through.
Nice. Until some fool tries climbing through the window.
Well, where it's at on Gratiot, probably. Or just shoot somebody.
Gratiot.
Or Gratiot, as my GPS is saying.
Yeah. Turn left on Gratiot. All right. I think we're done.
All right.
Don't have any clever segue to get us out of here, but we're done.
Hey, sometimes simplicity, right? Follow us on social media at the Weedsman 420 on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Share us. All that happy horse shit. Go to ChristopherMedia.net. Hit the PayPal button. Hit the Amazon banner. If you would like to help us out with some commerce, it is that time of year where you're going to be on Amazon. So why not? Right? Couldn't Hoyt. Is that anti-Semitic now? Saying that? And wherever you listen to the show, rate us, review us. Good and the bad. 1 to 5 stars. It's all feedback. It all helps people find the show. Please and thank you. Thanks for listening. And stay high.
Stay high.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details. Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.